Well, Michelle, great to see you again.
You too, Liz.
I thought maybe today we could talk a little bit about why we created the Spark Me podcast.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
The last few years, have been having conversations with my friends, my girlfriends. We go out to dinner, and a theme kept on repeating itself with all of these friends, and that is they would have kids that were leaving the nest and going to college or starting their careers. Uh, they had achieved what they wanted in their career. And they were starting to think, what is the next chapter going to look like? How are my partner and I going to be with each other without kids in the mix? How do we want to live our lives? What do I want to achieve next? And these conversations kept repeating themselves. And I thought, gosh, we need to have this conversation on a larger basis
Yeah.
and talk about what women have such interesting lives, and those lives often are almost in chapter form. Like, this is the chapter of, raising young kids and being on travel soccer teams and doing all of that kind of stuff. And then this is the chapter where I'm dealing with teenagers and,
Mhm.
all of that. Or I reached a point in my career where I finally gotten what my goal was for my career all this time. And that's sort of where I came from. Like, I've been dealing with aging parents, sick parents. You and I have shared that um, experience, uh, and thinking, I love what I do for a living, but I want a little bit more. I want to satisfy a little bit of my creative side.
Yeah.
And so started thinking about a podcast. And then I thought, gosh, I don't want to do it alone. I'd love to do it with a friend.
Oh.
And who would be a great friend to do it with? And so we went out to lunch. We went out to lunch.
And and I was like, "Yes," because I'd been playing with the same themes in my head, right?
Yes.
That whole theme of, where do we go from here, right? That we're in those middle chapters,
Mhm.
and it's that time where there are a lot of challenges, right? You're often between raising kids, taking care of aging parents, but you're at a certain point in your career, or you're wondering if this is the career or what would be next. Could I start over? There's so many things going on. Our kids are leaving the nest, and the credits are rolling on that part of your life, and you're
Mhm.
wondering what your purpose is now, like, because that was your purpose for so many women during that time. Or it could be it's so many things, and
Yes.
your body is going through changes,
Yeah.
your health is going through changes. Like, it's when you have to really start caring about things that you kind of took for granted when you were younger. And so there are all of these, like, incredible challenges, and at the same time, these wonderful, awesome opportunities for growth and transformation.
Yes.
And I think we want to explore all of that. We want to be honest about the challenges, and we want to talk to each other about them, and see, are we all going through this, and do we have resources we can share, and can we form a community that helps each other out, where we have these meaningful connections. They aren't just, not just online, but in person and with each other. Like, can we support each other through the challenges, and then can we also kind of figure out, well, what else is there? And, like, what have other people done? And how do you pivot at a certain point of life? And what comes next? And what kind of dreams can we have? And what's possible? Because it's all there, and it's all possible. And we want to kind of have the community that can lift each other up, and be the springboard too.
I couldn't agree more. And I thought that it was such a sign, if you will, that when we sat down for lunch and I started to share, you were like, I've already thought about this. And in fact, I wrote out the outline and here it is. I mean, so we were both thinking independently of this similar challenge.
Yeah.
and opportunity that women face. And I really do think it's really more of an opportunity because I believe that when you hit your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, you have so much agency,
Yeah.
right, that you have built in your life that you know who you are,
Mhm.
you know what you want, what you don't want. At least you know what you don't want. You may not always know what you want, but you definitely know what
Yeah.
you don't want. And I feel like there's this opportunity to get back to remember that when you were in your 20s and you were, just going out into the world and you felt like possibilities were endless,
Yeah.
right? The world was your oyster.
Yes.
And I believe that when you start to hit this age as a woman, you can have that feeling again,
Yeah.
r- you know?
Oh, absolutely. You said you love your job, but you were looking for still something creative to do. I'm an architect. I'm in a creative world, and I still find that as much as I love seeing what I can do in the built environment, that it's often equally fulfilling the things I do outside of it, which are often community based and
Mhm.
like kind of trying to make a community better. Right. And so when you said that and when you came to me and I'd already been thinking of it, it like lit me up inside.
Yeah.
That was the thing
Right.
for
That was
me.
the spark.
That was the spark for me.
Right.
I was like, that's what I want to do. That's like the thing that's been inside kind of burning, like this idea of this podcast and reaching out and like being able to speak to so many women on a larger platform who are going through the same things because everything in my life that I've found a way to that I figured out has been through talking to other people.
Absolutely.
And largely other women who are going through these experiences, not solely, but largely,
Mhm.
who say, "Hey, here's a resource for you. Here's something that helped me. Here's a tutor, or here's a doctor, or here's
Mhm.
a therapist, or whatever it might be." Like, I've been where you are.
I think women are the ultimate networkers.
Yeah.
I mean, I am telling you, I don't go to dinner with 3 girlfriends and not come out with a list of new supplements that I should be taking, my joints don't ache and and I've got more energy or whatever. I mean, and I'm not getting that information from going to my doctor or, I get it from my girlfriends.
Yeah.
And so I think that if we can create this podcast where we share that information a lot like when you go to dinner with your girlfriends,
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun
Yeah.
and get a lot smarter
Yeah.
and hopefully others will enjoy it and get a little bit of a, an idea or a spark to go do something different.
Yeah. We wanna spark great conversations, but also ideas and inspiration, right?
Mhm.
So, that there's that little thing that, "Oh, I didn't think of it that way," or, "Wait, you did that? Well, could I do that too? Is that possible for me?" Like,
Yeah.
somebody else just did that even though they are experiencing things too. And Liz, just since we had this idea where we were talking about the challenges, right? Like, and how you're sandwiched in this kids and parents, like, we both lost parents.
I know.
Just since we sat down for that first lunch,
I know.
our lives have changed, and
Yeah.
we wanna talk about those things and what happens when that happens and how life gets different. But it's not always it's sad, like, to lose a parent, but it's there good things can come out of it too, like a new relationship with your siblings.
Mhm.
Like a kind of renewed, galvanized, we're still in this together, and, like, some beautiful things can come out of things that are really sad and hard to deal with at the time, and so there's just it's so much information to cull there and explore, right? Just in the big picture, and to look forward and say, you know, "There's so much opportunity ahead," and to make sure that you have great girlfriends, I have great girlfriends, we're friends, we have mutual friends,
Mhm.
and we wanna kind of bring those networks together, right? And
Exactly.
then figure out, like, not just together online, that's one way we definitely wanna do it, but I think we'd love to do it in person too.
It totally. So, almost from the moment that we talked about doing a podcast, we talked about creating a community
Yeah.
around that. And we understand that we may be in different geographic locations, but our goal with this is to create opportunities to come together in person, in real life, share experiences, and really inspire each other.
Yeah.
Because I just think that sometimes when you feel like you're in it alone, when you feel like I'm the one taking care of my parents, I'm the one taking care of my kids, I'm working all the time, that you can get really bogged down. And when you step away and connect over a cup of coffee or a hike or,
Yep.
going on a spa retreat with some friends, and you realize we're all in the same boat,
Yeah.
we're all dealing with similar things.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that that is the defining moment for us.
Yes.
That we talked about this in a different episode. My dad started his company at the age of 56. That was unheard of
Yeah.
back then. It's not unheard of now.
It's a very successful company now.
It is.
Right?
It's an incredibly successful
Yeah.
company, but 56 years old,
Yeah.
you can do anything
Yeah.
right now.
That's what's exciting. Like, that's the thing. We're like, this is the second half of life, right? And think of how much life you've led up to now, right? What you've accomplished, what you've been able to do, that's still all in front of you.
Exactly.
If God willing, as they say, right? Like, and so there's just so much that is still within the realm of possibility, and what makes it so fulfilling is often like doing it with and for others, right? And so that's like, I was just listening to John Bon Jovi reel today, and he's been to the height of fame and money, and
Mhm.
he has it all, and he still says like it's really just about being with your family and the
Yeah.
connections you make and helping other people. Like that's where it really all lands for him, right? And I think that's true. Like it is really like how can we make the most out of this journey together, which there's still so much, but in the big picture it can also be, it's like fleeting in the when you consider time eternal, right? So like how can we make the most of it with each other and have those connections with each other?
Yeah, and I think that along the way, as we build these relationships and connections with each other and start to spark some ideas of how this next chapter will land, I think, to your point, we both lost parents over this period. We'll share some of that
Yeah.
sadness, but I also think we're going to laugh a lot.
Of course. Yeah.
You and I,
That's just come
I don't think we've ever had a conversation where we didn't end up laughing, and so I think we're gonna share the ridiculousness of life, and oh my gosh, can you believe this? And everybody's gonna be able to relate to it because we're all going through it together.
we absolutely are. There's just like there's a lot of shared experience and I can't wait. I can't wait to hear people's stories. I can't
Absolutely.
wait to just pick brains and hear about, colonoscopies gone wrong or like
No, I don't really want to hear about
okay, maybe
colonoscopies. I don't know where that came from, Michelle. We only want colonoscopies that go right. This podcast.
but there might be a story. Or if you just say we don't know. But we do want to talk about
Pay for a very graphic show.
we do want to talk about health and colonoscopies are important. But especially, now. But all those things. We want to hit health, we want to hit finances, we want to just like what are the things that we're dealing with now?
Yeah.
And how can we deal with them a little bit more together? Honestly, I am so grateful to all the people who have like pointed me in the right direction and made my life better. Um, love my group of friends, but would love to like we want to see you. If you're listening to us, we do see you,
Right.
and we also literally want to see you.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, and we want
Hear from you.
to hear from you, and we want to connect you with each other,
Mhm.
and we want to take the best of who and what women are, which are natural, as you said, natural networkers, natural connectors,
Mhm.
natural doers.
Yes.
And what we can do and what we're capable of is astounding. And if we really do it together, I think like what could come out of this podcast and like the community we create could be so profound.
Absolutely. I will say that, every time we've gotten together, every time we've taped an episode, I have walked away inspired,
Yeah,
and I
100%.
walked away thinking about something. This is gonna be a show. We're not gonna gossip. Couldn't care less about that. We're here to talk about important subjects that every woman is dealing with today, and to inspire each other to live our best lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's life is great. Like, and we've both been through some really hard
Yeah.
things. And not to say like it is just part of the ebb and
It
flow of
is.
life. We're all gonna get our share of suffering
Mhm.
at some point, right? It's just how you deal with it and who you can turn to in those moments,
Exactly.
to get through them. And so we want to make sure that everybody, has a community they know they can turn to when they and or who we can point you to where maybe we know maybe we don't have the answers for you, but we can help point you to where they might
Some
be,
resources. Exactly.
because we're going to have just this incredible group of women here to help each other, right?
Mhm.
And to talk about the things that we're all going through. So when you're in the middle of that thing and you're like, I don't know how I'm getting out of this one.
Right.
Like this is bad. We're here to tell you you can and you will. And
Exactly.
you've gone through everything in life to this point, and you're going to get through this one too. And so if you need help, if you need to say what do I do next? Where do I turn? Just start asking the questions, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll be able to ask us the question. Maybe we'll be able to help answer, you know?
Absolutely. I think that our plan is, and we've already started it. So we're gonna interview some experts
Yep.
and share those resources with this community. We're going to talk to each other about what's going on in our lives,
Yep.
so that people will have a sense of
Who we are.
who we are, what we are doing.
If you care to spend time with us or not, you might not. You might think, nope. Thank you very much. Or
and
yeah,
and we're going to talk to you, the
yeah,
community,
we
the
really want to talk to
me
you.
community, and really understand, what are the things that are most important to you, and make sure that we're covering those in these discussions.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and it's gonna run the gamut. Like, there's not really a topic that's off. We're gonna share very personally. I think you and I are very willing to open up about a lot of things in our lives, but we because we hope by doing that, we'll be able to help others. We'll have guests on. They'll decide where they're comfortable sharing, but I think no matter what, just the act of being here and telling a story, we sort of began this thinking we're gonna have a very niche audience of like, kind of uh we're all kind of midlife going into that second act. And I really do feel strongly that this is also going to be a very useful podcast to, people who are earlier in their lives, like to see the paths
Mm.
that others are like, where have where have we been? Our generation, where have we been and what kind of footprints have we left that maybe they can follow? Or we can say, don't go that way.
Right.
Right,
Right.
that was not the
You can
right
view it that way, but it's a lot tougher. Take it from us. Take the easy road.
right. Because some of the people we've interviewed already, I think their stories are so meaningful and so important for the younger generation to hear.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know that we have heard from people that have really paved their own path.
Yeah.
There was no path in front of them. They created that path,
Yeah.
and they shared, some of their, you know, some of their regrets in that process, like things that, well, felt like I could have done this, but I ended up doing this. And you know what? In life, there's no like bad decision. There's just decision, right?
None of our guests regret anything.
Exactly. That's
Is it?
true.
So
That
far,
is true.
I thought that was so interesting. Like,
Mhm.
because some of the questions we ask, sort of poking at that a little bit, they're all like, we don't waste time. on regret. Like there's no it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's all about like, look, I tried something, it worked or it didn't work.
Right.
And then I did it, and then
I
I
moved on to this.
you gotta
Right.
you gotta keep going.
Exactly.
So I think that these conversations are gonna be really like interesting to people and I love that sense of no regret. Like people never regret what they did. They regret what they didn't do.
That is so true. That is so true. And so we don't want anybody to have any regrets.
No, no.
We wanna spark, excitement and for people to feel like, again, they can do anything. The world is their oyster, and let's go get it.
Yeah, let's go get that world. Let's go eat those oysters.
I don't like oysters either, shit boy. I don't even know why.
No, I like
oysters. I was just saying, you want to even chew them. Like you just like knock them back with some hot sauce. Like I can't even understand the whole oyster thing.
What does it actually mean the world is your oyster?
I don't know where that came from. I feel like we'll have to.
Could somebody share? Somebody out there knows that.
Anyway, we may have gotten a little off topic here.
But the world is your oyster, one way or the other, in whatever good way that means. And we would love to hear from you and to talk to you and to share the stories with our guests and to invite you into our community.
Absolutely. So this will be the one of many conversations that we have, and we look forward to meeting all of you.
Yeah, and we'll teach you a little bit more. Not teach you. We'll let you know a little bit more about us over time. But we don't unroll it all right now. I mean, we'd just be here a really long time.
I know. It's very long.
But we're gonna have plenty of time to do that, and we look forward to getting to know our listeners and our guests too.
Well, I'm so excited to be on this journey with you, Michelle.
Me too, Liz. This is gonna be great.
Yeah. Great. Thanks.